Hello and welcome to Antique Needleworkers. My name is Shellie and this is my channel about cross stitch and all my crafty endeavors. I welcome you here today. If this is your first time here, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope that you find something here within my little channel that inspires you to be creative and helps you along your journey. And if you're a returning subscriber, I thank you so much for being such a great part of what I do here and coming time and time again. It just blesses my heart, and I'm just glad to be part of the community with you. So hello, my friends. I'm a little later than normal. It's been a very eventful couple weeks since I saw you. I'll give you a life update really quick because I know that there's going to be a lot of people waiting to hear. If you were on social media a couple weeks ago, you would have seen my last post, and that was next to my husband's hospital bed. Very shortly after I filmed my Come Learn With Me video, my husband had not been feeling well for several weeks, and it became progressively worse and more progressively concerning. And he went to our physician, and they had run some tests and done an EKG on him and things like that. And then they gave him some medications. His blood pressure was out of control, severe pressure in the chest, all those classic symptoms. And the beginning of the next week, they called with the test results and asked how he was doing, and he said he was worse, and he was directed to go to the hospital, to which I got a phone call. And just like a stoic gentleman, he said, "It's okay, I'm just gonna go, you stay home." And I said, "This is not going to work that way, Mr. Fry." So I met him over at the hospital, and he was immediately admitted, and they began running tests. And the high and low of it and the long and short of it was 2 days after admittance, they went in to do heart surgery on him. And they came out, and we were a little surprised. We thought, wow, that was really, really quick. And they said, well, we came out to reconvene with the surgical team, and they were making a decision on how they were going to do this surgery. And so they did not go back in that day, and we went through recovery, but he did have surgery the very next day. And what was the problem was his left ascending artery, they lovingly refer to it as the widowmaker, was blocked. And had he waited or not been sent that day, we would have been having a conversation that would have been grief and not gratitude. And so I am so grateful for wonderful medical professionals who took care of him so fantastically, and all the people that rallied around him and myself. One single Flosstube friend just checked in with me and out of the blue, and I told what was going on. And I cannot speak enough for our community, because from that moment forward, my phone on a regular basis, multiple times a day, from all of my Flosstube community, checking in, mental health checkup, physical checkup, and they all just rallied around me and prayed for my husband and prayed for my family and prayed for me. And those prayers were granted a wonderful outcome. And I just can't get over how just how this community touched my life. I got emails, I got texts from like multiple countries, and I was just like, who started it? Who told? And so it was just, I can't thank my Flosstube sisters enough. I can't thank you, my cross-stitch community, enough. When I did post my last post with my stitching sitting next to my husband, that was after the second surgery. And so everything was complete, and I was able to like breathe. That that nasty little thing had gone away, and it was not going to cause me any more fear. And so since then, he is doing fantastic, just fantastic. The weird thing about his, well, it was an amazing thing. It just shows the grandness of God's creation. His artery, off of that artery, they came in. The reason why they reconvened at the first surgery was because there was an anomaly, they called it. But then come to find out, his heart tried to bypass itself, and it grew itself, basically a vein, and it attached itself to his pulmonary artery. And so they had to figure out what they were going to do with that, because, you know, that could be that was part of the problem too. But it was like a God solution within his chest to keep him alive. And so that was just mind-blowing, that his heart was just like, yep, I'm going to try to fix myself. So, but anyhow, he had a surgery and he got out in typical man style. Everyone who has watched me for half a second knows that we are big Tennessee people, and we go to the rod run in the spring and in the fall. And the rod run was coming up, and we had suites reserved for all of our children and grandchildren and ourselves to be gone for a week on a lovely trip to the mountains and to see all the cars. And wouldn't you know, upon dismissal from the hospital, my husband says to the cardiologist, you know, I have this trip planned, and I just want to know, you know, I'm going to go. And I just was, the children and I were just like, you know, like, let's reschedule this for another time. You know, he's still on restriction right now. He starts cardiac rehab next week. But so anyway, when he is being released from the hospital and having this conversation with the cardiologist, we were all almost in need of the same cardiologist, because he's having this conversation and he will not allow us to cancel this trip. And so the cardiologist said, actually, if you go ahead and go and you do not do this, 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 and this, and you do this, 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 and this, you know, I think it would be a good idea. To which my children and I were like, have you lost your mind? So I got home from the hospital, at which I had never left the hospital. I went and stayed, other than I left for a shower and came right back. But I stayed with him the entirety of that. I had not seen my house, my animals, nothing. So I came home and yeah, I got everything back together. I packed for a week-long trip. We did not permit him to drive. I had my son call, and I had a golf cart brought in for us, and we plunked him next to the pool at the resort. And wouldn't you know, it was really the best thing ever. It was really what we needed to do, because if he would have been at home, he would have been in the yard, he would have been under a car, he would not have been a good patient. And I have to tell you, he was a phenomenal patient through the entire thing. Even going on this vacation, we sat him next to a pool. I told him what he could eat and couldn't eat, and he's just basically yes ma'amed me the whole time, did everything, because I held him to the letter, because I thought I was losing him. So, you know, I wasn't going to lose him to stupidity after he got fixed. So, and the kids, everybody was so helpful, and it was really the smartest thing we could have done. And when he wanted to go see the cars, well, we threw him onto the golf cart and we drove him right up to each and all the cars, and and he just had a grand time and did what he was supposed to. And we got home, and he's still being a good patient. And I am so grateful to have that behind me. And I am so grateful for all of you out there who really encouraged and prayed for my family. Yeah, my husband's never had anything but stitches and a broken bone. And then to come to find out that had he not gone to the hospital when he did, he would have expired, was quite a reality check on this 55-year-old wife. So I thank you for each and every one of you who have been there for us. And yeah, that's what I've been up to since I saw you last. Okay, so now that I've given you the life update, let me clean up. I'm thankful for the camera. Let me take my tears away. Let me make an addendum to my last video. You know, I absolutely get so excited to talk about all of the things. I really love doing these come learn with me videos. But as I told Sylvia, my friend running with needles and scissors, and Carrie, my friend Tiger Lily, I can write a set of notes and walk all over them, because once I start talking, I have so much I want to say, and I just blah, blah, blah. And so anyway, during the video, when I was talking about the linens, I was talking about the names of the linens. And it's not that it wasn't on my notes, and it's not that it wasn't right here. I just, I was jabberjawing, and I just walked right over that. I called 28 count Belfast, and I called 32 count Belfast. Well, 32 counts Belfast, and we know that, and 28 count is Cashel. Okay, and so, yeah, that was just utter excitement. And then when I got to talking about where the names and places they were, I said Edinburgh was in Ireland, but it's in Scotland. And I think everybody knows that. And, it was just excitement. But I did want to make some amendments to my video. And I thank you so much. You all, oh my goodness, you all are like sponges. And you're just like me. And I am so excited that you're enjoying those videos. And I hope to continue to bring them. I'm sure that there are a plethora of topics that I could talk about, because when it comes to our stitching, my husband says that yeah, the key gets turned on and the motor doesn't stop running, and that is the truth. And he says that lovingly, because he knows how deeply much I love my stitching. And so yes, I will continue to bring those to you. And I just want to thank you all for just the great emails and comments and encouragement. Every single one of you has just been phenomenal, and I just thank you so much for that. While we're still here right now, before I get to showing some things and having a maker's moment, I wanted to tell you that our guild had a lecture day with Sissy Bailey Smith, and oh my goodness, it was amazing. And we went over Scottish samplers and some Irish samplers and English samplers, but really the premise was Scottish samplers. And I just wanted to say to you, if ever you are able to sit in for a lecture with Sissy, I truly would encourage you to do so. She is an amazing designer, and she has like a walking thesaurus on the topic of samplers, and it was just so engaging and so wonderful. And she showed so many beautiful things. She had even made a trip to Scotland, and funny enough, she had walked literally past where one of the little girls that in the sampler that she had reproduced lived. So it was just amazing. And as well, our guild, I am so sad about this part, because everything that was going on at the time, I had paid to be part of the Kathleen Littleton, and I had showed you my my piece that I had received for the Orphan Annie sampler, and we were having a lecture, and I had my earbuds and I had my phone, but because of everything that was going on around me with my husband's situation, I got on there for like 10 minutes, and I am so disappointed because I love Kathleen Littleton, and I think you know that from seeing my haul from her. But I only got about 10 minutes. I saw some beautiful samplers, and she had so much to say. That's another person. If you ever have the opportunity to listen to Kathleen Littleton, please do. Please, please do. She's an amazing designer, and she's a plethora of information. I'm so sad. I got 10 minutes of that. It was a Zoom, and our guild didn't record it, and that's okay. I think that sometimes those decisions are made based on, for whatever reason. But I do have my piece, and I'm excited about that. I do treasure the 10 minutes I did get to hear, but I was so concerned with the noises from, the equipment and people coming in and out and things like that, I was just a nervous wreck that it was a Zoom, and what if I hit the button and my microphone went off, or something like that. And so it's just, in my mind, really, I was having a hard time. Actually, to be honest with you, I was having a hard time keeping a thought, but I really enjoyed that. So I would encourage you, if you're not part of a guild, the Queen City Sampler Guild is the guild that I'm a member of, and I'm also a board member for them. And we have such a wonderful educational program. There are other guilds as well. I'm a part of the Tudor Rose as well, but my local guild that I am part of and very passionate about is the Queen City Sampler Guild. And we do Zoom stitch-ins, we do local stitch-ins, but we have great education. And as a matter of fact, I'm very, very excited because next week is our Nicola Parkman retreat, and Carrie will be in town, and Merritt Crawford's coming into town. I'm so excited about it. And we are going to have a fantastic time, and Miss Nicola Parkman will be at our disposal. As a matter of fact, I'm going out to dinner with part of the guild with her when she arrives, and so I'm really excited about that. But I'm telling you all that because if you're not part of a guild, find one. Find one. Even if you're at a distance, I can just tell you that, like, our Zoom lecture with Sissy Bailey Smith, she wasn't in-house. She was on Zoom. And if people who were not at the guild meeting that day, they were given the Zoom link so that they could participate as well. And you just can't beat that education with a stick. It's fantastic. And so I will put a link for the Queen City Sampler Guild down below. It's always in my description box. And you can go to the website and see things. And if you choose to, it's $30 or $35 for the year. You aren't going to get education like that for $30 anywhere. So anyway, do participate, get out there, learn things. It's just so good, so good, so good. So anyway, I have a bunch, y'all have just sent me all kinds of things. I've got tons of happy mail. And but before I do that, I do want to do a maker's moment. I was at the hospital with my husband, and I started a new book. And when I started this, in the very beginning of the book, I was so inspired by a statement that was made. And I looked at my husband and I said, well, I just got my next maker's moment, and it is phenomenal. And I'm going to read that to you now. It says, we aren't striving to become like someone else, but prayerfully seeking to become the fullest expression of who God intended each and every one of us to be. And when I read that, I thought that is so true. And I've talked about being yourself before in Maker's Moments. when I think about that, we aren't striving to become like someone else, but prayerfully seeking to become the fullest expression of who God intended you to be. I think that those are the wisest words to say to anyone. And I've talked about how I always am trying to be encouraging to, like, particularly the Ada Stitchers, because they, it seems to be that there's so many people who feel less than because, for whatever reason, and you know I am your girl, that I am an encourager of, that's a ground fabric, stitch on whatever you want, you're amazing, do your thing, you know. And I think that, you know, in video number 1, I made a disclaimer in that video. And it's something that I tell people, you know, when they ask me my story of how I started stitching. I talked about very early on, I realized very quickly that I wasn't a whimsical stitcher. I was a sampler stitcher. But there was this weird thing that hung right back here in the back of my head that, you know, I didn't feel worthy. Why? I did not feel worthy to stay. I felt like an imposter every time I said it. Well, I'm a sampler stitcher, you know, and I would be like this because I would feel like, oh, they're gonna, really, you're a sampler stitcher? Really? Well, let me just see. You know, that's how I felt. And that is exactly what I'm talking about. I don't have to be Nicola Parkman to be a sampler stitcher. I am a sampler stitcher. End of the sentence. Yes, I am. And, but I felt inadequate. I felt shy. I felt unqualified to use that terminology. What a ridiculous thing. I mean, we tell ourselves some really jumbo lies, don't we, girls? And so, and when I read that in this book, I went right back to that thought process, and I thought, I had those thoughts. I did not think that that was even terminology that could be used in my vocabulary. And so you don't have to be a stitcher who stitched for 60 years to call yourself a stitcher. And you should never try to be someone else. Because if you're not you in your stitching, then we're going to miss out on somebody great, because we all bring value and creativity and individuality to our community. And I think, what in the world would life be like? There's a friend of mine, and you've heard me talk about her a million times, and her name is Diane. And Diane is this amazing stitcher, and she models stitches, but she's this quiet human being who has so many wonderful things to say, and she brings so much to the community. But she's the quiet one back in the corner who doesn't say very much, and she's like this stud of a stitcher. And I always say, oh, when I grow up, I want to stitch like Diane, because she's amazing. Her fronts and her backs are amazing, and you know, and she's not, you know, Nicola Parkman, but boy, she stitches like Nicola Parkman. And so, do you see what I'm saying? I want you to be beautiful, individual you, and we can aspire to learn things from other people. Now, don't get me wrong when I say, like, as a matter of fact, here's an example. I don't know that I do the queen stitch right, and I have the Rachel Allen sampler. And so I have said to Ellen Chester, my dear friend, I said to her, could you please teach me to do that? And she's like, I absolutely will. And so I want to pick up some of her knowledge so that I can expand my knowledge. But I don't want to be Ellen. I want to be Shellie. And I want you to be you. And so my maker's moment is, don't aspire to be someone else. Always aspire to be beautiful you, because you have so much to offer to all of us today. And the book that I was reading that I found that statement in is by Joyce Meyer, and it's called Habits of a Godly Woman. And I will put a link to this in my description box below so that you can just get a link and go find it, because I know that when I mention these things, a lot of times, well, you guys have bought out books when I have mentioned them. So I'll just drop a link down below for you so that you can get right to that. So, okay, so that's our maker's moment. Now let me just show you the tens of stacks of things that have been sent to me. Well, speaking of Kathleen Littleton, she sent me one of the sweetest cards. Thank you, Kathleen. I appreciate that so much. Just some really sweet words that she had to say. She's a blessing, and I love that very much. Thank you, Kathleen. I also got a card from Desiree, and Desiree is on YouTube and also has an Etsy shop, and it's Pretty Paw Stitchers. Pretty Paw Stitches, and she sent some beautiful things for a giveaway, and she sent this beautiful card to me and just some sweet encouraging words. And Desiree, I appreciate that so much, and I know that our viewers are going to appreciate that even more when I do the giveaways, because she sent quite a few beautiful things for you all, and she sent a discount code, so that was wonderful. Also, on Instagram and on Facebook, Kathy Pintar, or Pinter, Pintar, she took a class, and I do believe it was at the Jingle Ball. I'm not 100% correct. Let me see. I think it was in this letter that she sent me, but anyway, she took a class to learn to make, I'm going to take these out of this plastic because I just know this light's going to wreck the whole deal. But so she learned to make pins and decorative pins, for pincushion decorative pins and decorative pins for your clothing or to stick on your stitch bag. And she's calling it Complement the Season, Finish with a Pin. Now, I have not found anywhere that she has any type of shop, but I do know this. She has a email address. It's complementtheseason@gmail.com. I will put that below under the products and books, and I will put on there that it was the pins, but you can go on her socials, and she has beautiful pictures of the things she's made. But she obviously has watched, and she noted it into her letter that she made me some beautiful, this is for a pincushion, and if you notice, it's got a butterfly. Very observant viewer. Thank you so much, Kathy. And she also sent me these pins, and these you could stick on your stitch bag or into the side of a pincushion. And again, she put a butterfly on there. Beautifully, beautifully packaged. Beautiful. Just sent them to me as a gift. I want to thank her for that, but I also want to tell you about it. So I will put her email below, and I will list her information on the social medias. That way that you can find her if you're interested in looking at any of her beautiful items. Okay. And then as well, let me come over this way. I received a beautiful little card from my friend Ellen. That is so pretty, is that not? And that's from Kitten Stitcher, that card. But she sent me a sweet little card. I gave her something when we were at a stitch day together, and she's just so sweet and so kind. She's been a designer since who knows when. She's just been around, and she was one of the founders of our guild almost 30 years ago. She is just brilliant, and I'm just thrilled to call her my friend. And so thank you, Ellen, for the sweet card. I appreciate it, my friend. As well, I got a card from Ruth Cole, and it arrived after Easter, but it did make it, Ruth, and I appreciate that sweet card and for you thinking about me. Thank you so, so much. And then I got another beautiful card. Look at the butterfly. I mean, I just love you all. You listen to everything I say, don't ya? And this card came from Nancy Suma, and she also, as well, not only sent me the card, she hand stitched me this beautiful little card, this little hanger that says "Be Kind" on it. And I think I'm getting a little company coming in. My dogs have come in, and Mr. Healed is at the bottom of the steps. 1 second, please. Okay, I'm so sorry about that. But I'm so glad to hear his voice no matter what. So anyway, back to what I was saying. Nancy Suma, she stitched me this little hoop hanger. I think I want to stick it off the side of maybe one of my stitch stations, but I love this. Be kind. You all, thank you so much for embracing my word of the year. I appreciate that so much, and what a sweet thank you. I treasure these things that you all, these pins and all the things that you all send me. You are so very, very kind, and I want you to know that I am just blown away that you want to share your gifts and talents and send things to me. It's totally unnecessary, but you guys are so sweet, and I thank you so, so much for thinking about me. Okay, so another sweet friend sent me a Nicola Parkman card. And this came from my friend Vicki Loyal. She is a viewer, and she said that she saw this and could not help but think of me. And if I didn't like it or if I didn't need it, I could pass it on. Oh, Vicki, I would never pass this on. She found me, I think it was on Facebook Marketplace, this stitching of a mill. I love anything with a grist mill because, well, I'm sitting in my grist mill, and I just thought that was so very thoughtful of you, and thank you for thinking about me. She also sent me some of her floss tags, and that's her stitching on there. Is that not beautiful? Beautiful stitching. And you can find her on Instagram as Vicki, let's put the peepers on because I can't see really well. VICKI, Vicki Loyal. Loyall is how you can find her on Instagram. So thank you, Vicki. I appreciate your kindness. And then my sweet friend Tina Egner from Team Egner on Instagram, Facebook, Etsy, and all the above. I got a message one day, and she says, "You need to go check your mailbox. I sent you something, and I'm so excited for you to get it." I guess she was tracking the package. And I opened it up, and this was in there. Is she not talented? I mean, this is just a thing to hold the thing that she sent me. And what she did is she got a creative bug one day. I guess she is just one talented lady. She made me these cards. She sent me 100 of them. And they have a antique thread. I'll just show it to you. It's these little cards, and they have this antique thread winder on it and antique, sewing embellishment. But if you look very closely at the bottom, what it says, "Thank you from the Antique Needleworker." Is that not the sweetest? She made these for me, so when I send you something, that I have these to put in there. She just got a big wind of inspiration and created these for me, and I love it. At the words on it say church house, and it's got the bobbin. She's just so talented. Thank you, my sweet friend. It was so fun when I opened that mailbox. I was like, what do you mean something's in my mailbox? I wasn't expecting. Anyhow, I love Tina, and I love the things that she makes. She is one creative lady, and she's just so very talented. And I appreciate so much you sending me this, Tina. Thank you for thinking of me. Thank you for your creativity. And wow, love that. Stitchy friends are the best friends, aren't they? Okay, and then I have one last thing that was sent to me. Many of you know Miss Daleen Wilson. She is so grateful on Flosstube. SEW, grateful, so grateful. Miss Daleen, about 10 years ago, was diagnosed with cancer, and she was given just a hot minute to live. And as a matter of fact, they said she wouldn't make it to Christmas, which would have been about 6 months. And she did things her way. And I think we all do things our own way when it comes to our health and our choices and things like that. But she really has a calling on her life to share the things that she did to save her life. And she has written a book, and it's called Practical Hope. And this is it. And it is on pre-order right now on Amazon. And she sent me a book I have followed Miss Daleen Wilson since the day she became a Flosstuber, her very first video. She is just a ray of sunshine, and she is a lovely girl. You always turn her channel on, and she always has a mug of something and a plate of something, and she says, come on in and have a cookie, have a whatever she's got on her plate that makes me salivate, let me just tell you. But the neat thing is everything that she cooks is organic and handmade and healthy for the body and all of these things. I think the next thing she needs to write, just a suggestion, Miss Daleen, I know that this is on pre-order, but I see a second book immediately, and that needs to be your cookbook, because we all want your recipes. But anyway, it says, no thank you to chemotherapy and radiation 10 years later, and I'm standing right here offering you practical hope. And I have read about a half of the book, and my eyes have teared up as I read her story. And this is not a book that gives you a list of 10 tips on how to kill cancer. There are about 450 different ways to do things, and she tells you her story, what happened to her and how it impacted her, and she gives you practical hope and practical tips. She doesn't say that it's going to fix you, but she tells you how she fixed herself. And so I can think of a ton of people. She sent me this as a gift, and she wrote the sweetest note on the inside for me, but I have already pre-ordered 6 of these, and 2 of them when they come, I'm going to give them to you, because I know that there's someone out there that might need some practical hope. And if you find something in here that does for you what it does for Daleen, I am thrilled for you. If you get this book and it just encourages you to make the next decision and the next decision, and you feel like somebody's out there rooting for you in your corner, that would be Miss Daleen Wilson. And I just applaud her, and I'm so excited that she's still here with us 10 years later to tell her story. And if you would like a copy of this, it is on pre-order. I will put a link to her. She's selling it on Amazon, and so I'll put a link to where it's at on Amazon for you, and you can pre-order that. And bravo. I'm so happy you're here, Daleen. Thank you for the book. I love what I've read, and I appreciate you so much. And you just keep spreading your sunshine and keep spreading this practical hope, because the world could really use some of that right now. So that was another piece of Happy Mail that I received, and I was very happy to receive that and share that with you. So, okay. Wow. Let me show you. I have haul out the yin-yang in here. I'm just saying. Because between the hospital and the vacation, my nerves, I will say, as a loving wife, fear gripped me for a little bit. And so I was having a really hard time stitching. I you'll see I have some finishes, and I think I did pretty well for 3 weeks. Carrie told me to get off my own back and quit picking on myself, because I'm like, I really stitch a lot more than this. But I would look at the linen and I would be like, I can't see, I'm blind. But I was so mentally tired, and so I did a lot of shopping. That's what I did. Shopping therapy. It was like, if my husband was asleep, I would just be staring at anything stitching, because I couldn't stitch at the time, so if I couldn't stitch, I shopped. So anyway, but I do have some stitching to show you, so let's get right to that. The first thing I'm going to show you is I'm sorely behind on this. I showed that I had bought this pattern, Fiona Rutherford, from the Wishing Thorn. I had bought that, and when I showed it to you that I purchased it and said I was going to put it in my WIP lineup, Merritt Crawford messaged me and said, hey Shellie, I'm stitching Fiona as well, and I'm going to be at the retreat. How about you want to do a stitch along together, and then we can like finish up at the retreat. Well, listen, I'm really hoping by next week I have a lot more of this done now that I can see and stitch again. But I did work on it a little bit. It's 1/1, and next week is the retreat, so I don't know how much of this I am going to actually have done. I got to put something behind it so you can see it better. I've got another piece of linen here. So this is what I have finished. I had the side border from here down done, and I took it across the top and started down the other side, and I finished the first line of the alphabet. I will say, although this is 1/1, I am enjoying it thoroughly. I am using all the called for DMCs that came in my kit, and this is 32 count vintage country mocha, and you stitch this little tiny sampler 1/1, and it is just a joy. But it turns into a teeny tiny sampler, and I already have a place for where I'm going to put this. I'm so excited. Now, this might make someone else scream and say, no, Shellie, don't do it. But I just redid my front bathroom. And yes, we take showers in this big bathroom. But I did red and cream toile curtains and red and cream toile shower curtain. Oh, and it is so pretty. And I need a sampler in my bathroom. So I have a big Bombay chest in there, and I put a cloche on a stand in the bathroom. And I told Carrie, I said, look, I'm using DMC, and it's vintage country mocha. And so, you know what? I don't care if we take hot showers in there. I'm going to frame it. I'm going to put it under the cloche. I have a huge antique picture in there. And of course, it's under glass, but it still gets steam to it. And it's held up. It's been in there for about 15 years. And so, and Carrie said, you know what, girl, you do you. If you want a sampler in your bathroom, I'm thinking, I need a sampler in my bathroom. I've got this beautiful red and cream toile shower curtain and curtains, and it looks so beautiful. It needs a sampler in the bathroom. So sampler it will be, and it will be Miss Fiona Rutherford in her glory. She'll be nice and tiny, and I'll frame her up and stick her under the cloche, and yeah, well, it'll be fine. Look at all the antique samplers that I own. A ton of antique samplers, and you know what? I've got one from 1793. It made it. This is going to be just fine. They didn't have air conditioning, so if I made you cringe, I apologize. It's going in the bathroom. So anyway, that is Fiona, and that is one of my WIPs. Another one of my WIPs, I am part of the Homespun Sampler group on Facebook. I will put a link below. I know that a lot of us talk about it, and we all should, because Julie Kersavi has a phenomenal, phenomenal group. She puts together stitch along, well, she curates kits and different hobby house has done them. Acorns and Threads have done them. The Shepherd's Needle. I love the Shepherd's Needle. And Miss Ann, she's so precious. And Quilter Station has put together kits. But this one was a couple years ago, and this is readily available now. But at the time it was not. It's Maria Higginson, 1837. We got ours in 4 parts. Because it was a stitch along. Now, I didn't stitch along at the time. And let's see, none of the pictures really show the full sampler. I'll show this. It shows a good touch of it. So if you have not seen Stacie Nash, Maria Higginson, this is the one side of it here. I am stitching mine on 36 count straw, which I chose for my kit, and I'm using all the called for Weeks Dye Works that were part of my kit. I do have a dangling thread, apologies, but I worked on my verse a little bit, and it is partially 1/1, and some of it is 1/2, but I got some work done on Maria because I really, really love this sampler, and I'd love to see this get going and get done. And so isn't she beautiful? All the called for weeks and 36 count straw. This was part of my kit that I got from the Homespun Sampler group. If you're not part of that, I'll put a link below, and do go join that group. You get in on exclusives that are just amazing, amazing, amazing. And so that was one of my whips. And oh look, I love this bag. My friend Goose Designs, Denise, I got this from her a couple years ago. I actually bought it at the time that I got this, but look at those little pink barns. Is that not cute? This bag would actually be even better suited for the newer Stacie Nash exclusive that we got from Homespun Needlework with the cool barn on it. It was just amazing. And that's my little thread bed in a pair of scissors. But so anyway, Quilter Station put this together for us a couple years ago. So these are the kind of things that you get when you're part of that group. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful kits. Bravo always to Julie and her wonderful group. Okay, that was another one of my, something I worked on. And then I had a new start. If you have not seen one of Contented Needleworker Kim's newest floss tubes, she's sitting in front of this nook. And actually, she told in the video that it was a closet. She took the doors off of it, and she's flanked the back walls and the side walls with all of her gorgeous stitching. It is amazing. Amazing. And she had a while back, she had stitched Eleanor Parr by the Scarlet Letter, but she did not do the whole sampler. What she did was this border right here. Let me see if I can't get a better shot of this. It's got vines and birds. And back when she had stitched that side border and made this panel and showed it, I was so inspired that I had back then bought my pattern, got all the called for DMCs, but I didn't pick any fabric and I didn't get it started. And when she did, I was so inspired. I mean, but I just didn't get back to it. And so when she did her video the other day and she went, oh, and this is Eleanor Parr, I was like, yes, that is Eleanor Parr, and I remember that. So I messaged her and asked her a few questions, and she was so kind and sent me very detailed pictures so that I could stitch my side border of Eleanor Parr just like her. And so I got started on it, and I didn't get a whole lot done. It's so amazing that this took several hours to get done, and it doesn't look like much, but it is like 7 thread changes. But I started on the vine that will be the corner. So, and this will immediately, it's going to go right down, and the very first bird's going to go there. And so this is a piece of, this is LFA Linens Dunes at Dusk. 40 count, and I'm using all the called for DMC, one thread over two linen threads, and it's just beautiful linen. If you didn't know, LFA, Legacy Fiber Arts, Sue and her daughter, they had been dyeing linen, and then they stopped dyeing linen, and so, but they just made a drop over at Treehouse Needle Arts, and I'll put a link for Rachel's shop down there in my, I'm writing it down as I'm talking so I don't forget, and you can go and check, but I got 3 half-yard cuts, which you'll see in my my haul. But it turns out that this Dunes at Dusk is an absolutely beautiful complement to the palette for Eleanor Parr, and oh, I'm so excited. I can't wait to get the first bird. There on the side border, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 birds. If you can see that. I'm gonna do this right there. It's the side border. And so I'm really excited about that. Thank you, Kim, so much for being such a gem to take all those pictures and be so kind and show me all those things so I can make mine look pretty like yours. So that's all I'm going to be stitching of it is that side. Okay, and I do have 2 finishes. One of my finishes was when I was at Nashville Needlework Market. I got the 3 new Classic Colorworks colors that came out. And they are Weather Vane, Misty Mauve, and London Fog. And when you got that, they gave you this complimentary pattern. And I did start and finish this since I saw you last. This is on a mystery 36 count. I picked it out and I thought it looked fantastic to stitch this on. It was a great compliment to those beautiful colors. But I pulled it out of the box. There was nothing on it. I had no idea what the count was, so of course, I got the counting pins out, and it's a 36 count. Have no clue what it is. So, but mystery linen, 36 count, and there you go, and it's all finished. My daughter, for my birthday, gave me a little wooden box with an opening in the top, and I'm hoping, I'm going to check that when I'm done filming. I'm hoping to mount that. I'd like to, this London Fog, although it could be a charcoal, it could be, it really lends itself, I think I can see a lot of blue in it myself. And so I think I would like to, like a charcoaly blue. I would love to paint the box like a dark charcoaly blue and then distress it up. So I'm hoping that it fits in the box. I've been, it was not in the main house, it was out here. And so after I get done filming, I will grab that and see if it fits in there. So, but I'm hoping that it does. So that was one of my finishes. And then my friend Alicia, the Fanciful Flamingo, her birthday sale was the Rose and the Giant Pear. And Miss Alicia has checked on me on the regular. She has prayed for me. Oh, she's a sweetheart. Well, I finally got this done. I did have this at the hospital, and when I could put in a stitch or 2, I did. And I stitched this on 36 count up in the attic by Fox and Rabbit, and I used all the called for DMCs. And this is my finish. This is my Rose and the Giant Pear. And if you notice, the initials on either side of the house are not those of the stitcher, and the date is different. That is my oldest son, Michael, and his wife's initials, Brittany and Michael, and the year above the house is the year that they were married. And so I'm going to honor them on my wall with the year they got married. And then, of course, when I'm not here, they can have it. So that is my Rose and the Giant Pear, and it is beautiful. And I say to my sweet friend Carrie, yeah, you should frame mine too. If you haven't watched Carrie and seen her socials, oh my goodness, the girl got the power tools out, and now she, like Kim, is framing her own pieces, cutting down all of her frames, all those things, and I'm just so proud of her. But Carrie, don't you think when you come next week you should take my piece and frame it for me? I'm just saying. So anyway, those are my whips and my finishes. Those 2 finishes have brought my 2024 finished total since January to 24 items. And so I am pretty ecstatic about that. And I'm loving, this is the first time that I have tallied very precisely everything that I'm doing, because you know what, I love at the end of the year, or at the beginning of the year, when people do their they show their finish parades. I've never done that, and I don't keep such a tight record of the things I've done, but I'm keeping track of it for those purposes, and also just to keep an eye on what I'm doing. And keep, you know, I like, I'm enjoying seeing what I can get done. And so I've enjoyed that. So those are 20 and 21 now. So anyway, those, my friends, are my whips and finishes. Okay, now how about we get into giving away last video's giveaways. So you know that on my last regularly scheduled giveaway, on my last regularly scheduled Flosstube, I should say, Mo from Mo's Sale sent some silk. She sent some large spools of silk for us, and these are the 3 that she sent. That's not a really good representation. I had a hard time last time showing you that purple. But there are 3 of these big spools of silk, and then there's also a hank. And I'm going to give away one of each of those to 5 different recipients. And the word for the giveaway was silk. And if I call your name, I'm not exactly sure which one you will get. Whoever sends me an email and claims their prize first will get the first one I pull out of the bag. So, but with that being said, there are 5 winners, and the first winner is Maggie Watt, or Maggie Waite. It's W-A-T-T-E. Maggie Waite 7911. You are the winner of one of the Mo's silks. And Maggie was M-A-G-G-I-E-W-A-T-T-E 7911. And then the next one was Patricia Ritter 771. You also have won one of the Mo's silks. Then Carol Fawcett, C-A-R-O-L-F-A-W-C-E-T-T 1297. Carol Fawcett 1297. You are one of the winners of the Mo's silk. Cindy Martinez, and Cindy is C-Y-N-D-I, Martinez 524. You are the 4th winner of the silk. And D. Corder, and that's C-O-U-R-T-E-R 5414. You are the 5th winner. So congratulations to all you silk winners. If you will check with my description box and send me an email and tell me your name, your mailing address, and what you won, I will get that right out to you. Congratulations to all you winners of the silks. And then I had 2 other giveaways, and one, the call word for this was just the number 1, and it was for Fat Quarter Shop quilt patterns. And the number 1 winner is Richard Allen 1391. Richard Allen 1391. You are the winner of these quilt patterns. And then as well, we had another set, and the call number for it was number 2, and it was these 3 Fat Quarter Shop quilt patterns. Aren't they so kind? They send us stuff every month, and it's just so wonderful. I love being an ambassador for them because they do such kind things for us. And the winner of number 2 is Lori Koch 8010. That's Lori, L-O-R-I, Koch, K-O-C-H 8010. 010, you are the winner of quilt pack number 2. So all of you winners, get in touch with me and I'll get those right out to you. Congratulations. We do have a fantastic giveaway today. I have had several people send some things that I'm thrilled about, and we'll do that towards the end. But now, how about right here, let's talk about some of the people that I've been watching, because I have been able to watch some Flosstube and I've really enjoyed it. As I told you, I watched a Contented Needleworker, Kim, and anytime you watch Kim, she is such an inspiration, and just so graceful and gracious, very helpful if you ever have any questions. And her Flosstube, oh my goodness, like I said, she was sitting in that nook and all of her beautiful stitching behind her. It was just beautiful. And she was talking about some of her setup for her new ironing station and stuff like that in her room. But anyway, you don't want to miss any of Kim's videos. She's highly inspirational, as well as the Paisley Stitcher Grace. She has now done a couple of her Flosstuber for a day. Grace is doing such a wonderful job, and she is another highly inspirational sampler stitcher. Just love her to pieces. She does a fantastic job. You need to go watch her. My sweet friend Carrie, Tiger Lily Designs, you need to catch her. She did miss a week, but as a matter of fact, I think today she filmed. And then, but a week prior to, I actually was talking to her on the phone. I said, I got to see your pretty face. I was watching your video. And she said, that was the one from the week before. So she was crazy town with her boxes going out, and I was like, oh, okay, well, the world was falling down around me. I thought it was a new video. So, but anyway, I think she has another one up today. I watched Carol Saltbox Stitcher. Is she just the most magnificently humble human being I have ever seen in my life? On her last video, she said, you know, I mean, I'm just really nothing special. I just been stitching for a long time. And I thought, Carol, you're precious. Yes, you are. I would, you know what? If I could, there are a few people that I would love to spend the day with, and Carol is one of them. She is, just because of the fact that she has so many years of stitching, and she's seen so many things come and go, and her quilting, and she worked in a quilt shop and all those things. I would love to have coffee and sit with Carol. She would just be so wonderful to spend the day with. I did get to meet her in Amana, Iowa. I think it was the last time she went out there. That's been two retreats ago, but she came by my table and I went, oh my gosh, I'm fangirling. There's Carol Saltbox Stitcher, and it was so fun to meet her. So I love her to death. And then I watched Linen and Scraps, and that is Kathy Bourne and Molly. I think that Molly has got the most infectiously sweet and bubbly, she's like me, she's excited. I think she's so excited about everything. And Kathy is just, such an inspiration. She's model stitches for Burgett at the Wishing Thorn, and like, I love it. She showed how she was doing all of the samplers that have Mary and Jesus. The Nativity it's where they're on a donkey, and like I think she said she was going to finish 3 this year, and I was like, wow, bravo, and I bet she will. And as a matter of fact, on her video, she cost me an absorbent amount of money. She showed this stand. Now, you know me. I am a self-professed equipment junkie. I really do. I love hoops. I love all the things. And I love my Patoki, and I love my Harwick. I use my Harwick a lot on the couch because I can raise that Harwick hoop stand. It's this, you know, in my Come and Learn With Me videos, I always use it. I have a table clamp for it. They're hoops on a stick. And then I have a base that I can stick between my legs, and it goes, but I can sit back and raise it really high so my neck doesn't hurt. My Patoki is great if I'm going to be going someplace I've decided that it works on your lap, but I have to put one of those lap desks on to raise it up a little bit. But I have never really found the stand for me that will hold a scroll bar. And I see all these things and I'm like, okay, well that's big and I'm gonna get trapped at the table, or it's a stand, and I have a stand and it holds it does hold the stretcher bars, but maybe not exactly as nicely as I'd want them to. And here's the truth about the matter. As a matter of fact, it's not just the truth about my stitching, it's about my hand quilting too. You know, I always sit at my quilt frame, and I made a big decision the other day. I am so tired. This should have been done by now. This quilt has been on here for a year and it's not finished. Want to guess why it's not finished? Because it's on this frame, and I am going to take it off here and get my antique lap hoop, and I'm going to go finish it on the couch, because that's the thing. I have to be in the studio to work on it, and I could get so much done. I did one for a king size one for my daughter, and 90% of it, I put it on the frame first and I pulled it back off, because I don't want to be trapped in one place. I don't want to be in my studio in the evening when my husband is in the main house. My little nest is on the couch. And so, yeah, I'm going to just, you can't see it, but around me, I have all these TV tables. I have this rack of TV tables. Well, they're to the left and the right of me, and they're covered in all my junk and then stuff on the quilt frame. But I'm going to take the quilt out of this and take the frame back down to the basement until I use it again. I love my hand quilt frame, but you know what? What happens is unless I'm doing a quilt bee where everybody comes and we stitch on it, stitch on it, stitch on it, and you get it done. But here's the thing, like I said, I can't work on it, so I'm going to pull this off. And the moral to that story was, I know I just took you all the way around the field to tell you this. I put stuff on stretcher bars. It all looks great and dandy. I put it on the stand frame, and I hate it because I want to sit on the couch, and I can take that to the couch, but then it's on the frame. And what if I want to go to the porch? I had to carry everything everywhere. I want something simple. And Kathy showed this frame that is so cool. It can sit on your lap. It's called W Stands. The letter W stands. She showed this magnificent. If you have not, I know they posted a new video today, but it's the one prior to. If you have not watched Linen Scraps, you got to go watch Kathy and Molly, and you've got to see this frame, this stand. It can sit on my lap, it can sit on the table, it's got a clamp to hold my hoops, but it comes with this other head that you can stick on there, and it specifically rests a stretcher bar on it. And I could just pick it up and carry it with me and take it out and it not feel like a big piece of furniture. You know, Christine Byrne from Mountain Craft Studio just showed the most amazing stand, and it goes in front of a chair and all of those things, and that's wonderful. I tend to, and I almost bought it, and I'm glad I didn't, because it's not as portable, but it was beautiful and it was fantastic and the price was amazing. I almost pulled the trigger, but it would limit me again, and that's the thing. It's like this quilt frame. It's not getting done because it's stuck here. So I bought myself the oak on W stands, and I can't wait for it to come. I messaged Kathy and talked to her about it, and she was like, this is the finest piece of furniture artwork. It is gorgeous. If you go to their website, it's amazing. And guess what? If you go and watch Molly and Kathy's video on Linen and Scraps, they have a coupon code, and I am thankful for it. I will not kid you. They are a fine piece of equipment. It's probably the most expensive piece of cross-stitch equipment I've bought. But I will tell you, I trust Kathy Bourne, and I know that it's going to be everything that she said it was. So yeah, Kathy, you cost me the most of any floss tuber ever, but I just want to say right here, it's okay. Thanks. I appreciate you. So go watch Linen and Scraps. I watched my favorite cousins, the Floss Bossing cousins, my precious sweet friend Beth, the Red Cross Stitcher. I watched Annie, the Proper Stitcher, who just had a birthday, by the way. Happy birthday again, friend. And then I watched Sully Stitches. She showed all of these absolutely stunning, stunning things. You need to go watch Tara Sullivan's video. And then, yeah, that's about it. And so I was highly inspired by a lot of people to stitch when I finally could stitch again. But I never lost my ability to shop. That's for sure. Okay, so that is who I have been watching. So, all right, you want to see some haul? Because I got a whole lot of haul. I think I will start with the things that I bought on my trip. I did not get to do all the antiquing that I normally get to do when I'm down in Tennessee, but on the very last day we were there, I drove down to the antique mall, and my husband waited in the car for me. Just couldn't do that walking around, and he's like, nope, honey, you go on in there and just have yourself a ball. Take as long as you want. And I did. I went to all my favorite booths and I got some things. I got one very amazing thing, which I will show you last. I found this absolutely cute quilt block, and I've already since brought it home and soaked it, and it is in great shape. And I also bought a quilt top to make into other things, and it is just as cute and scrappy as can be. And it's got a lot of vintage fabrics, and I just thought it was adorbs and just patchwork, and people really like that when I make stuff with those things. And yeah, so I thought that would be great. And speaking of me making things and the things that I sell in my Etsy shop, of course my Etsy shop's been closed for quite some time, but it's not closed, but it's just it's on vacation right now. But speaking of my making, just curious, but you know what I thought? In an upcoming giveaway, I think I'm going to make a few of my items that I make for my shop and use those as giveaways. I thought, you know what, that'd be kind of personal. You guys might really like that. I don't know, tell me in the comments. But I thought, you know what, they might like something that I make. I actually have prototyped and given away and got opinions on a new item that I'm going to add to my my shop. So anyway, so if that's something that you think would be neat, you just let me know in the comments. Now this is the pièce de résistance. I cannot tell you how absolutely floored I was. I went through the entire antique mall, and I wasn't going to go upstairs because I felt a little guilty because my husband was in the car. He said he was fine the whole time. He sat on his phone. But had I not walked upstairs, I wouldn't have seen this. There was a woman up there who was one of the workers, and she was opening a case for someone else when I walked up there. And I kind of, you know, you turn into a nosy bones, and I'm like, oh, I wonder what they're getting. And I walked over, and there was another case, and another woman said, when you're done with him, could you please open this case for me? So I kind of walked over there. I thought, oh, I wonder what's special in that case. And then right next to it was another case. And inside that case was this antique merchant's display for floss. It's got glass doors. It would have been a counter model, and on it it says 6-stranded lily floss. And this would have been for the merchant to display and sell their floss. Oh my gosh, I couldn't even believe it. Now I have a big spool cabinet over there, but have I ever seen a floss cabinet? No. As a matter of fact, I haven't. Is that not the neatest thing in the world? And it came with the floss in it, and it's not lily floss, but it is vintage floss. It is, there's two different kinds in here. One is 6-stranded. This is, well, what is the brand? I thought it was Star. It's color fast, mercerized cotton, 6-stranded, and I can't read, silken art thread. It's a vintage type of thread. And then there's, here's the Star one, Star 6 brand. It's the same logo, so maybe it was just a different type of packaging. You see that star right there? Yeah. So anyhow, I was just ecstatic, and of course, I love it. There was some needle packs, some antique needle packs. Love those. So that was just such a fun find. I mean, what cross-stitcher wouldn't want to find that? That was just so neat. So those were my finds in Gatlinburg. I had an Etsy find. No, no shamelessness here. I found an antique table clamp. This came from France, and it's a hoop. They put this piece in here and when they sold it, but they wrapped this. This is like a Duchess. It's not a Duchess, but why I say that is because it has no screw or tensioner. It's just a solid wood. And if you watched my video number 19, What's All the Hoopla, you know that these old hoops, they didn't have screws, they didn't have tensioners, the oldest of the old. But I just love this. I thought, oh, what woman wrapped this? And what's so neat is when it's on the table, if you need it higher, you just twist it around. It's got a screw mechanism here, and you just hook it to the table, and if you need it higher, you just keep screwing it until you get it just to the right height. And I'm going to clamp it here in the sewing room. It's so neat. I'll probably put the piece back in it that it came with. But yeah, this came from France. Some of the neatest, I know that you guys have watched and seen my other, my little lap stand that I got, the antique one. And it came from France too. Over there, it's just such a mecca of antique needlework items. So anyway, that was a Etsy find that I found. And then, okay, let's see. I just heard something fall, and oh, there it is, and it's the very one that I need. Okay, I made an order to Jersey Girls Stitch Co., and those girls were just so absolutely, Teresa and Anna, so sweet. I had gone there because Annie, the Proper Stitcher, her new release, they made custom pins for it, her Strength and Dignity pattern. So they made a set of custom pins to go right with it. Aren't those beautiful? They do such a phenomenal job in their pin work. And I got that, but while you're there, I mean, my goodness, I got 4 more sets because their pins are phenomenal. Up here, in my pin cushions and drums, I have a Jersey Girl Stitch Co. Pins in all of them. I got another set, and this one is called the Country Bunny, and it's because there's a little silver bunny on one of the pins. The smaller pin has a bunny right there. Are these not just gorgeous? I got that one, and then this one is 160 Years of Blue. Blue's my favorite color. Look at this version. Are those not absolutely gorgeous? And then I got 5 other sets. 4 other sets, 5 other sets. This set is called the Alabaster Blue Pins. oh, they're so regal looking, aren't they? And they're substantial. I mean, they are top quality everything. And then my last pair is Eliza's pins, and it goes with JBW's pattern. I want to show you this. Look at this. JBW's Eliza pattern. Look at those gorgeous pins. Okay, so that came from Jersey Girl Stitch Co. And if I just enticed you into all the pins that you need, I will put a link below for their shop. So, but I went there, and Annie made me do it. That's what I'm telling my husband. She put those up, and the pins they did for her and her new piece, Strength and Dignity, were just so beautiful. I just had to get some immediately. So, all right, I got that, and then I got my Sew Sampler box from Fat Quarter Shop. If you don't know what this is a subscription box to Fat Quarter Shop, and it's a quilting based box. This month, I am so excited. Well, I say this every month. They put in here, this is so nice. It's a So Creative journal. Very, very well made book style journal for you to put, you could put your quilts, your stitching stuff in there. This is the fabric that came for the month for, it's Moda Fabric Flower Girl, and let's see, and this is by, oh, My Quilty Life. And then they also sent along this needle minder in there. Then there is a crafty clutch, and this is a kit, and it's a stabilizer based. It comes with the zipper and the pattern, which is on stabilizer to make this really cute clutch. And then the quilt pattern for this month to go with this this fabric is called Bobbin Blooms, and look at that, how cute this is. See the bobbins and the flowers coming out of the bobbins. They also, I can't show you because there's a QR code, but they give you for a QR code to download another free pattern that works really well with this fabric. Now, what I'm really excited about is they are starting a new stitch along, a quilt along, I should say, and it will run from April till next year. Let me see if it's got the date on here. It doesn't. Let me see if the pattern does. I'm going to hold this like this so what you can see is this is the first quilt block. And this is called the Pieceful Baskets Quilt Along. And this is, the fabric is just gorgeous that goes with this. And let me see, it features Shoreline by Camille Roskelly from Moda Fabrics. Now, this will come every month. So you have to get the Sew Sampler box to get the pattern. And it's going to run for the next 12 months, I think. And so anyway, every month you'll get your pattern, just like, you know, just like they give you a pattern every month with your quilt subscription like this. But they always have a quilt along in the box with. And so that would be the Pieceful Baskets. This is the pattern, you know. So I'm just covering everything so all you can see is the block. So you'll get a block a month and it comes free. They actually also gave this sticker, which I love. Look at the pretty, oh, the colors are just so fresh and beautiful. Now they do have a quilt kit for this. I have ordered mine. It's not in yet, but I am planning, I'm going to do the Pieceful Baskets quilt along. So if you're part of the Sew Sampler Club and you haven't seen that they have a quilt kit for this, go on over to Fat Quarter Shop. I will put a link to it there, and I'll put a link to this. And I don't know if they have any open spots for the Sew Sampler box, but I don't know that they don't have them. So I can put a link for you there too, so that you can go and check. But you just saw what I unloaded out of this box. I'm going to tell you, this is the best money you're going to spend. You can't go to dinner with your husband for what this box cost. And you get this every single month. And they curate some of the neatest stuff that you've ever seen. I absolutely love that. I will never not get that box because it's my favorite thing, because I get so much inspiration from it. I also got my Floss Frenzy and my Floss Fix enhancement for I'm in their floss club, so it's the Floss Frenzy is for your Weeks Dye Works, and this month you got Dove, Dried Sage, Driftwood, Dutch Iris, Eggplant, and Emerald. So these are the colors for this month. And then their Classic Color Works Floss Club. Oh, you can't see that. It is, the light has changed. And so I'm having a hard time getting you to be able to see. Oh, there, that's much better. This is Floss Fix, and this one is for Classic Color Works colors. And these are the beautiful colors for this month. And you got Eve's Leaves, Fallen Leaves, Fancy Green Nancy, Fancy Green Nancy. Now, my favorite boozy stitcher sister, Nancy. I'm going to call you Fancy Green Nancy from now on and tell you that you got a floss named after you. Field of Green, Finely Gold, and Fleur de Lilac. So I got my Floss Fix and my Floss Frenzy as well from them. So that was always wonderful to get those. As well, I'm part of Michelle Rudy, Farm Girl Dry Goods. I'm part of her Patreon, and April was Linen Month, and so she also sent a little thread. She wrote us a sweet little letter and talked about she dyes her own linens for her to give to her Patreon, and I get 36 count linen. Like I said, she gave these to us as well, and she said this was a cool natural color, and she really it's got a peach pickup in it, and it is a really pretty linen. Michelle does a really good job, and we always get such a nice piece of linen on Linen Month from Michelle, and it's great to be part of her Patreon, because who doesn't need more linen to come, you know? You don't even have to order it. It just comes. It's like presents coming in the mailbox. So I got that. I did get my Carrie Tiger Lily box. And I took a picture the other day. I said, can I share it? And she said, you're one of the first ones. Please don't. She says, I want to say yes, but please don't. But it's filming day, so I'm gonna show it. So anyway, inside of Carrie Tiger Lily Designs, this is the April Keeper for the Quarterly Keeper Club. Isn't it pretty? It's so bright and cheerful. I think we all need bright and cheerful. Winter is over. She put in here this time lemon shortbread cookies, and I have a weakness for shortbread cookies. They were delicious, and they are gone. So I'm sorry, I can't show you those. We got Life's a Stitch Tiger Lily tumbler, drink tumbler. I can't wait. No one will steal my tumbler now because it's hot pink. Also, there is this macrame keychain to go with all the bright funness. This is really cool. This is a felted ball coaster to stick your cool Tiger Lily thing on. So nice. Isn't that bright and cheerful? Everything is just so bright and cheerful to go along with that bright and cheerful thing. And then this is a needle threader, and it's a needle minder, but it's also a needle threader. Let's see if I can't get, there we go. Isn't that beautiful? And it came from, you know, Where's the glasses? Sorry about that. It's what can't be broke. What can't Brooke do? I'm so sorry. It's what can't Brooke do is the maker of this. So, and as a matter of fact, there's a paper. Let me just look at the paper. It would be really great if I would just pick that up. Rose Needle Minder and Threader, Brooke Fuller. A gorgeous handmade tool from Brooke of What Can't Brooke Do in Maryland. She's a one-woman Etsy business with a unique stitchy tools and notions that are beautiful and functional. This 2-in-1 tool is perfect for the little addition to your stitchy toolbox. And so that was just so cool. So wonderful box again. She is the queen of the box. And I love it when my pink and white box shows up in my mail. Okay, I told you it's Hollapalooza. Okay, so I also ordered from Sweet Starlight Stitching Co. She makes these keepers too as well. This is a little different take on. She makes, I'll tell you what she made to begin with. She makes these clutches. And they open up and they're a big thread bed, but they have a zipper on the back and a pocket, and they're really neat to throw all your stuff in and throw this in your bag with. This one isn't for me because, see, I ordered this from her. I ordered the big clutch, and guess what? She sent 2 of those clutches over there for you. So those are in today's giveaway. So I love the color blue of this. I was watching her Flosstube, and it's the same Starlight Stitching Co. And I was watching it, and then I just got inspired and went and checked her little store out, and lo and behold, there was something available. It has a small zipper section, a big section here for a thread bed. You can put a project here and you can put a project here. So this is a multi-purpose and you can get a lot of use out of it. That's Starlight Stitching Co. I will link her down below. But I ordered that from her, Amanda. She's so sweet. And how sweet could that be that she didn't just think of me when I ordered, she thought of you and sent stuff for you. I thought that was so sweet. Of course, my friend Denise Goose Design, she is a hoot. Just a hoot. I love her. She is a ray of sunshine and giggles. I ordered this bag from her. Of course, it's Teresa Kogut, and oh my gosh, Teresa does no wrong. Everything she makes is gorgeous. And I just love her. And you know what? If you ever met Teresa Kogut, she is she's no different in person than she is on screen, and she's just got such a good heart. She just, you know what, you meet people sometimes and they just exude that, their spirit just bears witness to you of just how precious they are, and that would be Teresa. Just love her to death. Denise sent this along too, and it's a little patriotic thread bed to go in there, and I could use that. You never have enough project bags. And I also had ordered for my big awesome project my Charlotte Warrington, which is it's one of the exclusives through the Homespun Needlework Samplers and Needlework group on Facebook, and Barry created a bag, and it's a big old bag to go with our big old project, and that's Charlotte right there. And so I had her sitting over there because I ordered my bag, and I think I was, you know, I probably ordered it a half an hour after it loaded, so I didn't get in the first swath of things. But so anyway, it just, her work is impeccable, and this is going to be my leap year, my Charlotte is, and so I wanted to have the matching bag with it, and it's just a beauty. And Barry does, oops, I threw my glasses down. Barry does a great job, and if you didn't know what chart I was talking about, it's this exclusive that was through the Homespun Samplers and Needlework group on Facebook, you can't get it anymore. And it's going to stay exclusive for them, I think. So, but yeah, I wanted to have that bag. So it sat on the cutting table because I was like, I'm not putting it in a project bag. I'm not going to get it in the minutia. I'm leaving it until my berry bag came. So I was so excited to get my berry bag and put it in there. I had told you earlier about my piece of fabric, that my LFA linen. I actually cut it off of this piece. I bought 3 half-yard cuts of 40 count LFA linens. I bought them from Treehouse Fiber Arts. I will link that below. Like I said, I do not know if there's anything left, but I got Dunes at Dusk. I got Millstone. And I love millstone, and it does look like a millstone if you saw it in person. And I got Covered Bridge. And they're all 40 count. And so I'm so glad to get that. Sue and her daughter do such a phenomenal job with their dyeing of the linen. And yeah, I wanted any chance that I could possibly get some of that. I also made an order to Hands Across the Sea to Nicola Parkman. She had some of the dish towels, and I ordered 3 of them because I did not get in on them before. So I'll show you them. This is one. And then this is one. And this is the 3rd one. Now listen, I aspire to possibly make one of these into, I think I want to make them into project bags, but let's talk about this. Wouldn't it just, I just think I want it hanging in the kitchen. I mean, the Stitcher's kitchen. You come to have supper at my house and I hang my pretty sampler towel in the kitchen. But I'm fighting with myself. Maybe I could save one to just put out for company, because you know we all have our towels and things, our company things. And then maybe I could make some a project bag. I don't know. I can't decide. Ellen Chester, when we were at our guild stitch and lecture for CC Bailey Smith, she had one and it was made into a project bag, and I was like, oh. But then I kind of got my head about me, and I'm like, yeah, but I would really think I want one hanging in my kitchen. And I have 2 kitchens because I have the main house kitchen and the mill kitchen. So to be determined. Okay, as well, Nicola had some panels of fabric, and you know, again, you know, I said a few minutes ago that I may make some things so that I give you something very personal from me in a giveaway sometime. And I had that on my mind, and I bought these panels. And they have different samplers of Hands Across the Sea samplers on them. And I thought, wouldn't these make like beautiful needle books, or a stitching pouch, a beautiful stitching pouch, or maybe an inset on a project bag or something like that. I got that one. And then I got this one, and I'm so excited because Hannah Campbell's on here. I love her. I'm stitching her. And Ann Thomas is right here. And my husband, one year for Christmas, bought me that entire set with silks for my Christmas present. And yeah, so these can make some amazing items. So I got those. But then, hold up. We're not done. She had these panels. Now, of course, these are vintage looking. These are not the sampler ones, but these are sewing related. Aren't those neat? And then they had this size, and then they had this size of the same one. So one's bigger and one's smaller. And you think, well, this could make like a sewing pouch, but this could make a needle book. You know, put that on the front of a needle book. Or a special gift for retreat. You know, I've got a retreat next week, but we were told that, you know, there's no exchange. And I asked about, you know, bringing gifts, and they were like, well, you can do what you want to do with that, but nothing's really set. So Carrie and I were just like, okay, well, we're just going to go with that. So, but I do have StitchCon coming, and in the fall I have going to Hobby House for my Life as a Sampler. So I thought something could be made fantastic out of that. So I got those things. But they sent me Elizabeth Furness, you know, this is their card. And I can't show you, but on the back there's a pattern. But this is one of Hands Across the Seas cards, and they sent that complimentary with my order. I ordered Eliza Bell Cox, 1832. Would you look at that bird? Isn't it gorgeous? And I did buy it because specifically that bird screamed at me, but my only daughter's name is Erin, and Erin's married name is Erin Bell. And I thought, you know, I never put the little girls' names because I'm the stitcher now. And so I dedicate things to my family, and I thought, all of these gorgeous roses and that stunning bird, and my daughter is just like me. She is fanatic for animals. And I mean, she grew up here we have goats and sheep and chickens, and we've had parrots and birds, and she would come home. You know, you're not allowed to sell animals to kids, but she'd go spend the night with her friends, and she'd take her money that she had earned for her chores or whatever. And I don't know who in the world was selling them, but she'd come home with hamsters and habitats. But so for me, yeah, this screams my baby girl. And then with it being Eliza Bell, I thought, oh, this needs to have my daughter's year of birth and Erin Bell on it, because that would be perfect for my daughter. And then I also got it's Eliz Fitch, 1797. Remember thy creator. I thought the simplicity of this sampler was just, you know, sometimes simplicity is just as lovely as 1,000 motifs. You know, sometimes you get a cone of vanilla bean ice cream and it's the greatest thing you've ever had. And not that this doesn't have beautifulness to it, but it's just a little more demure. It doesn't have this gobsmacking border and giant parrot in the middle. And so I thought I just love the simplicity of it. So yeah, I bought that. Yeah, I told you, this is just keep it, just put your seatbelt on. When I was watching the Paisley Stitcher Grace, I was highly, highly influenced immediately and wanted to buy Bridget Powers from GGR. And guess what? I put, click, add to cart, all of the DMCs and the fabric. I got that on 1-2-3 Stitch. Yep, I did. So I was very highly motivated to buy that. And then as well, I ordered a Maria Davis, 1823, a Bangor, Maine reproduction from Needlework Press. I love the simplicity of this. Again, I have 2 grandsons and I have 2 sons. And I think sometimes these things are really well suited for the gentleman to honor them in stitching form. I did want to say this. I'm so excited. I'm going to go to Keepsakes this week, because I'm going to go get the silks for these, because guess what? If you did not know, I am so excited. I got my notification, but Keepsakes, my local LNS here, they now are carrying the full line of 103 silks. So I'm rip-roaring excited about that. So I'm going to take those over there. So I'm going to finish those off. Okay, moving on. More haul. I ordered the newest exclusive for the Homespun Samplers and Needlework group, and it's from the Heart Needle Arts by Wendy, and it's called Sweet Home. And this is the chart. That was an adaptation from this sampler. So you got the chart for the adaptation. Hold on, let me see this. And you got the reproduction of the full sampler. As well, you got all of the Weeks Dye Works threads. And then you also got, I got 40 count. It's called Sweet Home Linen from Seraphim Hand Dyed Fabrics. So mine's 40 count. And then we got beautiful pins to go with. Let me see, take these out. And these were done by Sampling of Memories. There you go. So these pins were made to go with that. And so I got that kit. As well, I'm part of Fox and Rabbit's Patreon as well. And they have, they have a special shop now for the Patreon members with a little discount. And so I ordered a piece of linen from the Patreon shop for the Patreon members, and I got Ancient Ruins, 46 count. Love that. And then in my Facebook group, the Antique Needleworkers Circle of Friends, one of our friends had posted this. And this is by Stacie Nash Designs. And it is called As the Crow Flies Pin Keep. And I loved it. And I was like, what is that? Where's that from? Who is that? And so the person from the group told me all about it. And I was able to jump on to Hobby House and buy it as a kit. And it came with the pattern, all the thread, and it came with the linen. I swear this looks like Duxbury. I don't know. I'm clueless because there's nothing that says anything at all. And then it came with the finishing ribbon, crinkle ribbon. It's from Dames of the Needle, and it's called Mayflower Gray. And so I got that whole kit from Hobby House. And it was so, I love it when, sometimes when you order, your things will come in the little Hobby House bag. Love that. As well, I ordered this and all the threads. I ordered Mary Collier 1814 by Lottie Da. I absolutely love the alphabet. I learned in the Sissy Bailey Smith lecture these alphabets. Let me take this out so that we can discuss this a little more. I figured out something that I didn't know. Okay, let's see if you can see that alphabet. And there's these little things around the outside. That's called an illuminated alphabet. I love the flat top A. Oh my goodness, I love Irish and Scottish samplers, and they always have that on there. And I just fell in love with this, and so I ordered it, and I got all of the threads for it. I'm going to show you that in just a second. Let me put this back in the bag. I ordered that. And when I was watching Grace, and she had her first, for the Paisley Stitcher, and she had her first Flosstuber for a day. I was totally enabled. Mary Lindley, 1829 by the Scarlet House. As well, I ordered Tending the Flock. Of course I ordered Tending the Flock by the Scarlet House. And then I also ordered this. I think that this was when I watched Brenda and Laura. I think it really was. It was Pineberry Lane, Hannah and Emma Foster. They've been out for a sec. There was a dear friend that had a death, and so bless their hearts, they didn't film, and everyone understands that. So all of those pieces, these are all the threads for all those pieces. I ordered that. And then I wanted to show you this. This was from our classwork from the Sissy Bailey Smith discussion with our guild. And again, do you see this illuminated? How it's got that alphabet has those things around the edges. That's called an illuminated alphabet. And that was just so neat, that class. And speaking of that, while I was there that day, my friend Ellen from With My Needle, Ellen Chester, she came in and she said, "Hey, Shellie, I don't think you have this sampler of mine, this little sampler, and it's called Kind and True, and it says, be you always kind and true." And she knows that that was my word of the day, word of the year. So she brought me this sampler, but she didn't just bring me one, she brought you one too. So that'll be in the giveaway today. Let me hold that. I didn't hold that very long. Very, very pretty. So appreciate her doing that. As well, I got the Jean Walker 1812 from Needle Made Designs. And again, that was a definite inspiration from my class that I took. Now, the last bit of my haul that I purchased was all things that were shown that lecture with Sissy, and I purchased all of the following books from the Scarlet Letter. I ordered the Historical Patterns for Counted Thread Embroidery, Architecture from the Early Samplers. Gorgeous, gorgeous book. Fantastic. I wish I could flip through this and show it to you. It's got all kinds of houses from all kinds of time in history. Fantastic. Ohio is my dwelling place. Yes, it is. Ohio is my dwelling place. And this is filled with Ohio samplers. It's a very large and stealthy book. Very wonderful. Very, very wonderful resource. Wonderful bits of information. I got Common Thread, Common Ground, a collection of essays on early samplers and historic needlework. And I got that. All of these were discussed and shown and at one point or another during the lecture. And then another one is, and this is A Century of Sampler Making, 1630 to 1730s from Whitney Antiques. And Nicola Parkman just did that interview with them, and it's called I Write the Needle's Praise. This book is amazing. Amazing. You can buy all 4 of those books on the Scarlet Letter. If you go to the Scarlet Letter's website, eye candy, inspiration. Oh, I wish I could. Oh, well, I can flip this. These aren't patterns, but it's just beautifully appointed books with samplers and little and information about them. I don't even know why I thought I couldn't do that. Look at these. Just beautiful, beautiful books. Let me open those pages a little bit. Well, I'm so used to don't show patterns, don't show patterns. These do have patterns, so I showed that. There's patterns for houses. It's just so neat. But this Ohio book, Ohio Born and Bred Shellie, of course I want to see all the samplers. Rachel Allen from the Scarlet Letter is in my whips, and like I said, Ellen's got to teach Shellie Fry. or make sure that I've got a tidied queen stitch before the entire thing is ruched in strawberries that are queen stitch. So anyhow, so but whoo, friends, there we go. I reached the bottom of the haul. Okay, now I did forget to show you one thing. I did buy this hoop, and if you can see that, it's like a double bowstring. This is called a Martha Washington, and the way that it's printed on here, it really is reminiscent of the way that a queen would be stamped, or a princess. I haven't had an opportunity since I got it home, since I ordered it. I got this on eBay. I found it, but I thought, that's so cool. It's got a double bowstring. Never saw anything like that. So another antique hoop for my collection. So I did forget to show you that. But now I want to move on to our giveaways for this video. Now, like I said, Sweet Amanda from Starlight Stitching Co., she sent 2 of her clutches for her stitching clutches for 2 lucky people. And if you would like to be the recipient of one of Amanda's clutches, if you would in the comments use the word clutch in your comment, and you will be put in to win one of these. And then, as I said, Ellen sent along Kind and True, one of them for you, just like she gave to me. And the word for that is kind. If you use the word kind in the comments, you can win that. Now, when you're putting words in the comments, please do not use the word win. Don't use the word contest, nothing like that, because it attracts the gremlins. Just use those words that I give you, and don't say drawing, winner, contest, giveaway. Don't use, because the gremlins come and it causes a wreck. Okay, so the next items that are for our giveaways, like I said, Desiree from Pretty Paw Stitches, she has a shop on Etsy, and she makes little items for stitchers, and she sent along 4 fobs. Let me take them out of the bag. I didn't want to take them out of the bags, but I'm going to do that. There's 4 scissor fobs here. She sent quite a lot. She sent 4 of those, and a needle minder and some floss drops. It was very kind of her. I had no idea that they were coming. Okay, so here's an idea of what she sent. There's one. And there's another one. And then here's another one. And then here, this one's got a piece of it looks like lemon meringue or orange pie on here. It's so cute. So there are 4 of those, and if you are interested in winning one of, receiving one of these scissor fobs, use the word fob in your comment, F-O-B, fob. And there will be, I will draw 4 names, and 4 lucky people will receive a scissor fob. And then as well, she made packs. There's a patriotic pack that's filled with floss drops, and she put the floss ring in there. And it's a healthy size pack. There's a patriotic one, and then there's also a Thanksgiving one. So, and it's, like I said, there's a goodly amount, so you could kit up a whole project with these. And if you would like one of the floss drops, use the word floss. And 2 lucky people will receive those. And then she made it's a patriotic. It's an American cupcake with an American flag in it, and it's a needle minder. And if you would be interested in the needle minder, then use the word minder in your comments below. Now listen, you have to like and subscribe the video. If you've already subscribed, don't hit the button or you'll unsubscribe yourself. So that's happened a couple videos ago. There were like 2 or 3 people, like 2 videos back. They were like, "Did you unsubscribe me?" And I said, "No. Did you hit the button again?" And so that's really what they did. If you know that you're subscribed, don't hit the button again. But you have to be a subscriber, and I can check that, and I do check that. You have to be a subscriber. You have to be 18, and you have to like I said, like and subscribe. So I hope that I thought those were some really wonderful giveaways. Such kind, and they were donated by wonderful people. So I thank you for everyone who sent something along for my viewers. And so those will be our giveaway for this video. Well, I think we have covered all the bases. We've talked about, I've called the names for the last time's videos. I've showed you my haul, my stitching, my finishes, and all my antique things, and told you all the things. And so I've had a good time spending time with you today. It's good to get back in the swing of things. And again, I want to thank each and every one of you that have on social media reached out or have messaged me. I thank everyone for being so kind to me and my family. I love being part of this community. You guys are a beautiful, beautiful people, and you really show out when a girl needs it. And I've really enjoyed being with you here with you today. And but I think that wraps it up. So until I see you again, I wish you many happy stitches. Bye bye now, my friends.